Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel. Today's recipe, Tandoori chicken tikka. It's hot, it's spicy, it's full of big bold flavors, it's very easy to make, and it's finger-licking delicious. If you follow my recipe, you'll never have to go to a restaurant again. You can use it as a main course or a starter. Let's take 500 grams of chicken pieces, season it with 1 teaspoon of salt. Now let's add 1 teaspoon of black peppercorns. I like to use freshly ground peppercorns. You can use black pepper powder in place of it. Now let's squeeze in the juice of 1 big lemon. If your lemons are small, then you can use 2 lemons. Now mix everything very nicely and marinate for 15 minutes. This is our first marination. Now let's take 1 tablespoon of cumin seeds. I have dry roasted them. You just roast it in a pan. Now make a coarse powder of it. Use half of the cumin powder and reserve the other half for later. We'll be using that later to make chickentikka masala. Here, I'd like to thank all my beautiful friends for supporting me in such a nice way. Now we'll take 1.5 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 nice big tablespoon of Kashmiri red chilli powder. I'm sure you understand that Kashmiri red chilli powder is not pungent at all. Add 2 tablespoons of hung curd or unsweetened yogurt. I'd like to tell you that if you can handle spicy food, then you can use regular chili powder. Now we'll mix everything very nicely. I don't think so. It's a good idea to mix everything with a spoon. I'd rather use my hands. It's much more easier like this. If you mix by hands, all the spices will get incorporated into the chicken very nicely. Now let's add 1 teaspoon of garam masala powder. Again, we'll mix everything. This time I won't be using my hands because my hands started burning. I was not using gloves. Please learn from my mistakes, and if you are using your hands, please wear gloves. Now we will add 1 tablespoon of ghee and mix everything nicely again. We are adding ghee because chicken is very dry. It doesn't have natural fat in it. Adding ghee is an important step. Now let's marinate for another 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, let's stack the chicken pieces on a skewer. Don't put more than 4 pieces if they are large pieces. If they are small, you can add 6 pieces. Stack everything up very neatly. After stacking them, we'll keep them aside. We still have to make chicken tandoori masala. If you follow the recipe properly, it will taste exactly like chicken tandoori tikka like you get in restaurants. Let's set the chicken aside for a moment and we'll prepare the tandoori chicken tikka masala. To the reserved cumin, we'll be adding 10 to 15 black peppercorns and 1 tablespoon of pink Himalayan salt or black salt. Pound everything together and keep it aside. Now heat a girdle or a pan and roast the chicken. Assemble everything neatly. You can add at least 3 skewers at a time. You can put in more skewers if you want to, if you have a bigger girdle. You can also cook it directly over the stove flame. I don't want to cook it over the stove flame because it messes up my stove and it's very hard to clean later on. On my channel, we do practical cooking. We don't want to clean up all the mess unless you have a helping hand or a maid with you. Now let's turn the skewers from time to time and cook it evenly on both sides. First we'll cook it for 2 minutes on each side on a high flame. After that we'll lower the flame and we'll cook it for 8 to 10 minutes. After that the chicken tikka will be almost ready. If the chicken gets dry, please add some ghee to the chicken. You can use a brush. I've misplaced my brush, so I'm using a spoon. Keep turning it and make sure that you cook evenly on all sides. You can keep it light brown or you can make it slightly charred to give it a very restaurant-like texture. I like mine to be slightly charred. Now let's sprinkle the tandoori masala that we had made. Sprinkle it all over. And now it's ready to eat. Let's eat now. Let's say a small prayer and start eating. Just have a look at this beautiful tikka masala. It's made without an oven and it's so easy to make. Serve it with some parathas, salted yogurt and a cold drink of your choice. Thumbs up if you like the recipe. Like I told you before, you can eat it as a starter or you can eat it as a main course. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thank you so much for watching. See you later in my next easy, simple and delicious recipe.